Hey brothers and sisters, it's Mikah here. I want to talk to you about a word that Yahusha gave me. He's been giving the word to me. He's been telling me the word for a couple of weeks now, ever since we got back from Sydney, and it came up with this: patriotism. That was the word he gave me. The quality of being patriotic, devotion to and vigorous support for one's country. We then shortened it to patriotic. So patriotic is like the exact same, having or expressing devotion to and vigorous support for one's country. So it's like we have to have devotion and support for Yahusha and keep loving him. That we then shortened it more and came up with patriot, a person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend it against enemies or detractors. So we have to defend ourselves and the bride from Satan and his demons. We also got the scripture meaning, patriot in the scripture. The patriarchs of the scripture, when narrowly defined, are Abraham, his son Isaac, and Isaac's son Jacob, also named Israel, the ancestor of the Israelites. These three figures are referred to collectively as the patriarchs, and the period which they lived is known as the patriarchal age. So they were patriarchs because they were given a home. Yahusha told them to leave and start a new life somewhere else. So Abraham left and went, and he loved his land. He was a stranger to the land, but he loved it, and that's how he was a patriarch. And his son Isaac and Isaac's son, they both loved it as well, so they were known as the patriarchs as well. The Hebrew meaning: the father and ruler of a family or tribe, as one of the founders of the ancient Hebrew families. In the scripture, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Jacob's 12 sons were patriarchs. Once again, they were patriarchs because they loved the land they were living in and didn't want to leave it. But eventually, Israel messed up and Yahusha left them, and then they got scattered all across. So we don't want to be praising our country and worshipping idols. We should be praising and worshipping Yahusha. We should have devotion to Yahusha and be vigorously supporting Yahusha's word and defend against Satan and his demons. We have to follow in the footsteps of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are the founding fathers, patriarchs of Yahusha's bride, Yisrael, following Yahusha's footsteps in order to perfect our behavior. I find it interesting that the word patriotism took me to the word patriot, which took me to the word patriarch, because these guys loved their land, but proved through their belief that being fruitful in their land was only possible by loving Yahusha and behaving like he commanded them to. The promised land is now our hearts, and Yahusha's doing the exact same thing within the bride today, teaching her how to trust him. All this from hearing a simple word in my head: patriotism. So, yeah. Patriotism is, we want to be following in the footsteps of Abraham, Isaac's sons, and
how long did you have that word in your head for, mate?
a couple of weeks. I've had it in my head ever since we got back from Sydney. Every time we had made a video or we all had a talk or something like that, it would just pop up in my head, and I would just be like, that's just a random word, I'm not going to say anything about it. Till a couple of nights ago when we were talking, and we were talking about something, and I asked, what does patriotism mean? So Victoria searched it up on her phone, and it came up with this.
Yeah. So from the word patriot, you learned what it meant in English. And what does it mean in English? Someone who
Vigorously supports their country
loves
and
it.
loves it, and will throw around banners for it.
So then when you looked into the scripture, it took you to the word
Patriarch.
patriarch. Isn't it interesting that those three men loved their country? They
Yeah.
were patriots. So read your summary again. What does it say to us?
We don't want to be praising our country and worshipping idols. We should be praising and worshipping Yahusha. So we don't want to be worshipping idols and praising our country, because it's not, it's just like,
What is an idol?
an idol is a anything that is worshipped and you bow down to.
Anything you love more
Than Yahusha.
Yeah.
So we don't want to be worshipping any idols or country. So if you love your country more than Yahusha, it's like an idol.
What do you see them all doing out there?
Like running around with banners, and when people from Australia go to other countries, they yell out "Oi, oi, oi" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're like, it's like advertising their country.
Yeah.
We should have devotion to Yahusha and be vigorously following Yahusha's word and defend against Satan and his demons. So we should be following his word as in, following it. We should be behaving what his word. So not worshipping idols, and we have to fight against the demons and Satan to keep our to stay free. We have to follow in the footsteps of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who are the founding fathers, patriarchs of Yahusha's bride, Yisrael, following Yahusha's footsteps in order to perfect our behavior. So, like before, we have to follow and read the word or listen to it if you're listening to watching his videos and going along it with him.
So where's our country?
Our country's in our heart.
What country are we part of? Where's our reign? Where is it?
In Yisrael. What part of Yisrael?
Where's Yahusha's reign?
In our heart.
So that's where we should be going into it. How do you connect with it? How do you connect with Yahusha's reign?
By cleansing our heart and
through the
portal. Through the portal.
That's how you communicate. That's the reign that's coming. Isn't it interesting the word you got? And where it led you?
Yeah.
And how old are you?
11.
And you can hear what?
Yahusha's voice
So tell them all.
speaking to me.
If I can hear it,
If I can hear it, you can hear it.
anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to say?
Keep going, guys and girls. And don't give up. Keep coming back and keep fighting those demons. And remember the 3 rules. Bye-bye.